Howdy ho, guys and gals. Welcome back. And if you were following our content from SEMA last November, you may have saw one thing that wasn't really highlighted, kind of drowned out by everything else there, and that is the new Anvil coming out from Harbor Freight. This is the video we posted there from SEMA, and we're real quiet about it. There wasn't a big to do about it, but as you know, they've been updating the whole Doyle line over there, and it's been throwing a real wrench in the old gears there, if you will, because they've really hit a sweet spot with the Doyle stuff. It's much better than what we've seen before. And the question now is this going to break the budget Anvil market? So let's jump into it, see what they have here. All right, let's pull this up here. Here it is. This just hit the website. People have been asking when it was going to be released. I heard spring. I can't believe it. They're beating their normal ones. I always say that Harbor Freight is usually, they'll give you a date and then there'll be a few weeks or a couple months past that. And right now they're beating all of their numbers. I don't know how they're doing it. But that said, let's talk about this here for a minute and see if this is really going to change things for the budget Anvil market. Now, what we see here is a 65-pound cast steel anvil, all right? They call it a forging anvil. It's got a hardy hole, a pritchett hole for accepting a wide range of tools if you really want to get serious about it. It's got a good flat surface. It's got a true horn on it. It's a great setup all around. $140 for an anvil, honestly, in this day and age, right out of the gate is not a bad price. And of course, we know we're going to see deals on this. We're going to see sales and stuff like that. So let's though compare to what else we have as far as options out there in the, I'm calling this the budget anvil, often what we want to call the anvil shaped objects, like the old central forge there. This thing, 55 pounds, rugged cast iron. That's an oxymoron there, because the problem with cast iron is the good part is it's strong. It's heavy. The bad part is cast iron's brittle. And striking a cast iron anvil, yeah, I mean, they work. They do work. And there's a lot of these budget anvils out there. This is a 55-pound anvil. You're losing 10 pounds over the Doyle there. It's $75. It's not going to break the bank. It goes on sale all the time. That said, look at I don't even want to with a straight face call it a horn. I don't know what to make of that. It looks like a toy. It looks like it is the roughest thing out there. Does it work in a pinch? Sure, it works in a pinch. And if you look at what else is out there, head over to, I mean, where are you going to go and buy an anvil these days? You're going to go to Home Depot? How'd that work out for you? $132 for a 55-pound, again, a cast iron. We're jumping up to cast steel here. There's a big difference when you talk about the two, okay? Look at the sharp corner lines on this, the way they're getting the castings on this, but as opposed to something like this, where it has those dull, rounded edges. And that's what you're going to see the difference between cast iron and cast steel. Could you get there and grind it and stuff? Yeah, but they're not going to do that at this kind of a budget. Long shaping horn-ish. It's got a hardy hole. It's got a pritchett hole. It's got a polished face. And it does do like it has the drilled anchor holes. That's nice. But for $132, is there really a choice? Now let's see. If you're going to go on Amazon, you're going to get something. I don't know. I would say it might be a step up. Oh no, probably not. It's hard to call it the Happy Buy. Happy Buy. The Happy Buy. Sorry, sharing that with the dog. Happy Buy anvil, 66 pounds, cast steel now. We're getting back to cast steel, but that sure looks like cast iron. But you know what? It's Amazon. Who knows what it really is? It might be made out of sponges. It could be. You just never know. Anyway, the whole point here is you're looking at 66 pounds. Let's see, is there free delivery on this? I don't know. $145 on it. It is Prime, so you're getting free 2-day delivery. Last time I got 2-day delivery. Anyway, it's funny. In Montana, the Prime 2-day delivery is about a week. Here in Boulder City, when we're down here, it's sometimes same day. It's such a world of difference. Anyway, $145 to get that thing. Yeah, that's gonna be a hard pass. Now, Vivor, who's just been stealing the show, they got stuff everywhere. They're like an entire Walmart slash Amazon rolled it into one. I don't know if there's anything they don't sell. They've got a 66 pound. This is on their website, 66 pound. Let me just say this. So Harbor Freight has sent me stuff before. What else? Vivor has sent me stuff. I've not, and you've not seen me do any videos on it. I've not been really happy with anything I've seen from Vivor. But you know what? There's a lot of different stuff they have out there, but I constantly get the idea of it's kind of like the old school Harbor Freight where it looks on paper like a great deal, but when you see it in person, you're like, you can see where they really cut the corners. And that's the old, like, prior to them coming out with their good, better, best line kind of stuff. So Vivor here, we got the Anvil 66 pounds cast steel, blacksmithing, forge, anvil. We're going to talk about, so forge anvils are usually considered 75 pounds and above for a forge anvil. I don't think under that is like a shaping anvil. It's like down to like a jeweler. Those are really tiny kind of things. But hobby level, knife making kind of anvil, that's where the general shop purpose kind of anvil, that's kind of where these fall. I'm not by any means a blacksmithing expert, not trying to tell you, just this is what I've been told by people who are, people I've worked with. There's a lot of blacksmiths around the area where I live in Montana, so I get to talk to them a lot. I'm by no means a master of the forge. I do like to watch a good episode of Forged in Fire, but that's about as far as it goes. Do I have an anvil in my shop? I have a railroad anvil in my shop, and I'm looking to upgrade because I'll tell you what, they're okay in a pinch, but they're not a long-term solution. Anyway, $129 here, free shipping to your location. If you're looking for a really tight budget, that's not bad, at least on paper. The horn on it, again, you're not getting a fully polished horn. It really depends there. Now, let's see here. Over at Etsy, let's jump on Etsy, see what Etsy has. We've got the anvil-shaped object here, clearly a railroad tie. Just to let you all know, there is there's some legality issues when it comes to railroad ties. It is assumed that all railroad ties, or not ties, rails, all rails are owned by the rail company that they're from. So having the hold of the, there's a assumption of guilt there. I'm not a lawyer, but this is what I've been told. So fair warning in buying or selling or getting rails there. Anyway, $275 for that. Now I'd seen some online, like on Craigslist and stuff. You can get the actual rail for 30 to 50 bucks. This has already been shaped for you. Let's see what else we got. Now, if you want an actual traditional anvil, this is a 50 pound, so we're stepping down, and you're looking at, it's a made in the USA, 595 pounds. Youch. Now, we got here a Pending House anvil, 77 pounds, $815. So these are actual, like, real blacksmith style handles or anvils here, $815. And that's the whole thing. And you're going to get, and I know some of you have already typed this. Just buy a used one. There's always cheap ones online. Go into Craigslist, go to Facebook Marketplace. There's always a cheap one. You're liars. People have been commenting and posting that here on the channel for years. People have been telling me that for years. There's no cheap ones left, guys and gals. People have figured it out. Anything, just put the word cast iron in, all suddenly the price has quintupled. It's ridiculous. Now, if we go on Facebook Marketplace, where you can be assured that most of these are probably a scam. That's my feeling about Facebook Marketplace. Let's go back up to the top. $700 for a 162 pound Peter Wright anvil. Clearly in great shape there. $500 for a Colombian anvil. $300 for this one that looks like it's been blown up by dynamite and then allowed to rust. $1,000 for this one that's clearly covered in rust. Not to say you can't get rid of the surface. $1,000 on that one, that's probably a great deal. $600 on this antique one, and you can see the edge on it has been completely ruined. Here's your tool anvils. This is your railroad rails there. 40 bucks, not a bad deal. Again, check legality in your area. Here's one that's already been shaped for 100 bucks. So you get what I'm got. Look at $350 for something that looks like it has been in the earth for the last 100 years. $2,000 for this really nice one right here. This 200 pound Fisher anvil. Again, and this, and so all skips. Let's look at Craigslist. See if Craigslist can do any better. This is looking from Boulder City, 250 miles out. That includes LA and Phoenix, basically the Southwest. And $150 for a rail anvil, $40 for a 6 pound. There's a deal for you. Here we go. Antique Henry Wright, $800, $2,000. $1,200, $1,600, $685. Again, there are no cheap anvils on here, folks. There's just not, and if they are super cheap, they're probably a scam. Here's a 150-pound anvil, no price listed. Always a good deal when there's no price listed. $950, no less, cash only. Yeah, so that's just not going to happen. Now, some things to keep in mind when you're looking at, and this is what I'm going to talk about. For $140, not including any sales, and there's going to be sales coupons and whatnot. That's just you can walk in, you can get your mitts on it, you can take a look at it and go, is this going to work for me? Because there's 1,300 Harbor Freights around the U.S. They're disrupting the market with all these new tools. They think of the good, the better, best level. Right now, there's only they're redoing the Central, was it Central Forge? Is that the brand? They're redoing the Central Forge. They're coming out in gray. I think they're going to be more akin to something like this. But this thing, $140. If you want a solid shop anvil, if you've got a better solution, here, if you don't believe me, you think I'm a bot paid for show, down below, tell me a better solution than that. And don't tell me just buy a used one online, because I've already proven to you that you're lying. You could sit there and you can haunt Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace, and over the course of another year or so, maybe you can find one. But I'm sitting here talking to people who just want to get something, get it in their shop, and get to work on it. They're not going to sit there and wait 8 months for one. And if you got the time and inclination to do that, then good for you. And maybe you will luck out and win the Anvil lottery. But most of us don't have the time to sit there and haunt Craigslist waiting for some fool to put one up for sale. He doesn't really know what he has. So that's not what we're talking about here. And we're talking about a good quality, 65 pounds. I won't call it a forging anvil. Can you do some forging? Yes, but that's not its bread and butter. This is a great size and setup for general maintenance, fixing broken stuff, doing some reforging on stuff, and a lot of knife making. If you're looking for a good solid knife making anvil, I can't think you're gonna find something much better for small, medium-sized knives. Are you gonna be making swords with this? Probably not. Just remember the rule of thumb is for forging anvil, you want a weight in your anvil that is 50 times, 50 times greater than the hammer you're hitting it with. So if you're hitting it with a 3-pound blacksmithing hammer, well, that's what, 150 pounds you need? Is that right? That's probably wrong. I see math in my head. I don't. I'm too old for that. So we do 3 times 50. Who knows? Maybe I am right. It's 150. Okay. So this one you're looking at, well, 65 pounds. We take 65 and we divide that by 50. You're looking at like 1.3, 1.3. That's a pretty small hammer. But again, that's like the you have enough anvil for that. Can you get by with less? I've heard some people say a 10-to-1 ratio is enough. Now here's the question: do you want to take it's a decent sized anvil. It's a nice anvil. I don't know if I want to be swinging a 6.5 pound hammer on this. I think probably a 2.5 pound hammer would be okay. Would be okay. But again, I'm going to say this: it's not a hardcore, forging kind of thing. If you're doing knife work, something about that kind of size, I think you're going to be fine. If you think I got something wrong, you got a better suggestion, put it down below. If somebody comes up with a good comment, I'll pin it. Anyway, if you like the content we got here, make sure you chomp the old like button. Really helps with the algorithm. Smash that subscribe so you don't miss any more of the content. Ring the bell so YouTube knows you're not lying about it, because YouTube is YouTube. Anyway, that's all I got for you today. You all take care. God bless. And as always, shine on.